Hello, my name is Colin Greatwood, Mechatronics Technology Engineer with Festo. And today I'm here to show you how to leverage using an SBSA Vision Sensor from Festo with a UR3e collaborative robot and Robotique hand-e gripper kit for a hand-eye calibration for picking and placing parts. You can see the components listed here. First, I'll go about configuring the Vision Sensor in Vision Sensor Device Manager by finding the IP address 192.168.1.20. From the Job tab, I'll auto set both the working distance and shutter speed, or you can measure the working distance and optimize the shutter speed manually if you choose to increase contrast. You can see I'm starting by just simply viewing the 100mm calibration grid, trying to create contrast from black to white. I also have trigger mode set to trigger. I'm not using multi-shot or pre-processing, and my calibration I have selected as hand-eye calibration method. Millimeters for unit and roll pitch yaw since I'm using a UR robot. I'll be using the 100mm grid and require a negative 22mm offset for the thickness of the part I'll be picking. I will not be using alignment. And for the detector, I have a single detector named Find Space Object here, which I will come back to and configure later. On the Output tab, I have the Ethernet interface enabled and the standard Telegram package. I'll make sure that trigger mode is set to trigger on the Job tab. And then with Job 1 loaded, I'll start my sensor. Transferring to the robot Teach pendant, you can see I have my TCP set up correctly here for a 180mm Z offset, and I also have my payload set up correctly for center of gravity and mass. Then I'll save my installation file and save my program as necessary. Next, I'll open my hand-eye calibration UR program. You can see that listed in the description. Then I'll go about loading the basic script by clicking Edit, Open, navigating to my basics.script from Festo, clicking Save and then Exit. I'll repeat that process for the calibration script as well. Edit, Open, navigate to calibration.script, save and exit. Next, I'll input the IP address of the Vision Sensor, as we saw from the Vision Sensor Device Manager .1.20. You can verify that here. Next, I'll make sure for SBS change job that I have lowercase job1 typed in. This must match the job that's loaded in the configuration studio exactly. As you can see here on the bottom left side of the screen, active job is titled Job 1. Next, for the hand-eye calibration, I'll type in the size of calibration grid without fiducials that we've printed. You must make sure that you've printed this to size, and today I'm using the 100mm printed grid without fiducials. Next, I'll edit my image pose, and this is going to be right over top of the calibration grid where it covers most of the field of view. Triggering here, you see that I've got a good position. I'll set waypoint and save. Next, scrolling down, I already have image pose set. Next, I have a number of calibration image waypoints. I need a minimum of 6 total. Image pose counts as 1, so I need to go at least through waypoint 5. I'll go about setting waypoint 1 here. I'll set waypoint with the tool feature selected. Now I'm going to rotate away from image pose by at least 20 degrees or greater in at least one major axis. Here, I'm manually inputting a 20-degree offset about one of the major axes of the TCP. But In inputting that 20-degree offset about the TCP, you can see that my calibration grid has fallen out of the field of view. I'll put my program over into free run for just a moment so that I can reposition this second waypoint. Now, still using the active TCP and featured tool listed here, I will adjust the robot so that I can see a majority of my calibration grid. You can see as I adjust the robot, the grid comes more and more into the field of view. Once I'm satisfied that a majority of the calibration grid is viewed at a significant offset from image pose, I'll come back, make any final adjustments to improve the positioning of that grid, as well as how resolved that image looks, and then I'll set waypoint 1 and save it. I'm very pleased with the position of that grid with respect to waypoint 1. Now I'll return to image pose as a starting point, and now I'll offset in a different direction for waypoint 2. You can see I'm rotating in the opposite direction about the tool center point, -20 degrees. And again, I've lost the view of my calibration grid, and using the tool feature, I'll index in my major tool X and Y axes and Z axis to bring that back into focus with a majority of the grid showing in the camera's field of view. Here you see more and more. We're slowly getting the majority of the grid back into the field of view. We're a little bit out of focus here. I'm happy with the XY positioning. I might adjust back a little bit, and I'll set my waypoint 2. Again, I'll retract to image pose as a starting point, and I've made 2 adjusted positions about the x-axis of the tool. I'll continue to make adjustments all the way up through at least waypoint 5. You can see that I've finished doing waypoint 7 here with 8 and 9 suppressed. Again, I'll retract to image pose since this is my starting point. Then I'll save all my program and installation file, and I'll play my robot program. You can see that a new image is triggered from each of the waypoints in this calibration routine. I also have very aggressive adjustments about the tool X, Y, and X and Y independent of each other to create at least 6 calibrated images. Once complete, you'll see that pop up, says stop calibration. I'll stop my sensor and go back to my calibration tab where you see I have a green light indicating that I have a successful calibration. Bringing up the calibration parameters, you see I have almost an 80% field of view coverage, 41 micron resolution, and my hand-eye parameters relating the tool center point to the camera's origin. Now that my calibration is complete, I'll bring a blank piece of paper up so I no longer see my calibration grid, and I'll place my part in the center of the field of view with respect to the camera. There, you can see my part is relatively in the center of the field of view. I'll optimize my shutter speed to improve the contrast between the black part and the white background until I'm satisfied. Notice I do not change the working distance here. That is very important, and my trigger mode is still set to trigger. Now going over to the detector, I'll highlight that, remove all of my top pattern, and with the line cursor of size 50, I'll add the edges of my black part. I'm looking for the black to white transition here with high contrast. I'll finish adding the pattern now. And I'll press OK. Lock that contour in. I might optimize the contour a little bit further. if it's not finding, but it's very robust right now. And with robot 3D set to result offset, I'll bring all these back to 0. That's the pattern's center of gravity currently. If I wanted to offset those, I could, but I won't here today. Going back to job with trigger mode set to trigger, I'll save this job and then start my sensor. Making sure that I'm at image pose, and you can use a global feature point if that's helpful to you. I've stored image pose as 0.1 here, and I verify again that I'm both at image pose and 0.1. You can see that I'm there. Then I'll load a different program, the Pick3D UR program from Festo. Just like before, we'll edit and load the basics.script, save and exit. Because I'm performing a hand-eye calibration, I'll type in ARM, all lowercase, for SBS mount type. For SBS Connect, I have .1.20 just like in my other program, and JOB1 for change job. My image pose, I'll set to my current position because I'm already in the image pose from the other program. With the initialization folder unsuppressed and active, I'll come down and I'll teach my gripping pose next. Clicking Set Waypoint, and with my gripper open, I'll drive down till I'm just above my part. Then I'll go about positioning the fingers to approximately where they're needed in order to pick the part as shown here. Lightly holding the part with my finger, I will close and open the gripper to center the part. Part might minutely adjust. I'll set that as my gripping pose and then carefully retract without bumping the part, my robot, and return to my image pose position. Then I'll play my initialization sequence. The robot drives down, goes to the picking pose, and stops program. This teaches the gripping pose. Now I'll suppress my initialization folder, retract to my image pose start point, and with initialization suppressed, I'll change my approach. You can see I've modified it to be 50 millimeters above the part there, and I'll fill in my gripper open and close for the rest of the sequence, and then save the rest of my program. Now I can test my main sequence. It takes an image, drives down to the part, picks it up, and drops it off to me. Then I'll put my part back in the field of view, translate it to one side. Here I've translated to the far left. It picks successfully and drops off. Again, I'll put the part in the middle of the field of view and translate to the other side, the far right. Successfully picks. I'll replace it in the field of view. Again, it's in the center towards the bottom. Now I'll place it, and I've rotated it aggressively to one side, showing translation and rotation. And then I'll rotate it the other way for a successful pick. Thank you for your time.